Hi, everybody. Josh here with CourseCareers, and I have Dan here with me doing an interview today. Do you just go by Dan?
What's up? Oh yeah, Dan's fine.
Thank you for coming on. And you're a recent graduate of CourseCareers, or did you get a job when you were still in CourseCareers, or you graduated first and then you found a job afterwards?
I graduated first and
Okay,
then I got hired.
cool. So before you got into IT, what did you do for your previous job?
So before IT, I was a manager at a restaurant. Very stressful job. I worked all day long. I was the first person in the restaurant and the last to leave
Wow,
5 days out of the week.
some hard work.
Yes. Yeah, most definitely.
Gotcha. And then how long did it take you to complete the IT course from CourseCareers?
It took me, I think, to actually complete it. I did it in a week.
Damn, that's quite fast. I think that's the fastest. That's the fastest one I've seen yet, actually.
Yeah, I did it in a week because I studied a lot before I took the course.
Okay.
So it wasn't, I don't want to give a false assumption that I knew absolutely nothing about information
Mm,
technology. I studied. That's why I didn't really need to, like, I already knew what a help desk was. I already
mm,
knew what tickets were. I already knew network protocols. I already knew the basics.
gotcha.
So I was kind of able to, I didn't totally skip the videos, but I skimmed through it. I would kind of scan the videos to be like, do I know this or not? And if I
Gotcha.
already knew it, I would just skip it and just hit it as complete.
Mm,
And I did the majority of my focus on the labs.
gotcha.
That's what that's why I was able to complete the course in a week.
Gotcha. Yeah, that kind of reminds me of WGU. How I'm like, I finished my computer science in two months, but it's because I primed myself so much. It sounds like you kind of did something similar there.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Can I ask, like, what did you use to kind of get yourself ready? Just like random YouTubes, or like how did you kind of pre-study?
Uh, there's a lot of things. I watch when I'm not actually working or doing labs. When I'm not doing anything, I watch YouTube videos about IT all the time.
Gotcha.
So that was one of the things. Like I literally lay down in my bed and watch IT videos as I'm falling asleep.
Mm.
Or when I'm taking a shower, I put an IT video on about anything and I just listen to it while I'm bathing myself or while I'm making breakfast. While I'm making breakfast, I'm making scrambled breakfast. While I'm making breakfast, I'm making scrambled eggs. Some other trusted source on YouTube that I watch. And I also went through the A plus curriculum. So I did Professor Messer, and I also did Pluralsight.
Mm.
And so those were the two ones that I watched. I'm going to be totally honest, I didn't watch them from beginning to end
Mm.
because I personally think it's pretty boring. But I got all the juicy stuff, and I would also get a textbook
Mm.
when a Z library was still a thing.
Yeah.
I would look up whatever CompTIA textbook and I would do A plus practice tests, and I scored pretty well on the A plus practice test. I don't hold A plus certification.
Hmm.
I took it once and I actually failed.
Oh wow. Okay.
I failed by like 2 points,
Oh
but
man.
that's because I really wasn't setting my goal to get the certification. If I
Mm.
took it more seriously, I probably would have got the certification, but kind of just went through the curriculum. And I felt that I was pretty strong on the important stuff because A plus does have a decent amount of outdated stuff
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that really isn't up to scratch. Like, I don't think anybody at my job is worrying about what a fire wire is. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that sort of thing. So that's kind of why I didn't pass the test. But all the stuff that was necessary for landing my first job, I knew it.
Gotcha. Good. Yeah, that's good. I totally encourage people to supplement. Even like in the course at the end of the slides, I'm always like, go to YouTube and Google these terms and see what comes out and like check your knowledge. I think it's really important to like kind of
Yeah.
cross check your things you're learning. So it's cool that you did that. How long did it take you from the time you graduated CourseCareers to finding your job? I think you interviewed like a couple different places, right?
Yeah, I had 3 interviews and I
Mm.
got 3 job offers.
Oh, damn.
And
Dang, really?
I took the best one. I didn't interview with a lot of places. I didn't even send out a lot of applications. But going back to your main question,
Mhm.
it took me about two
Wow.
weeks
Wow.
to get a job, but that's because of the hiring process and whatnot. People got back to me rather quickly. And I just want to add some emphasis. I think that my situation was a little bit lucky, and
Mhm.
I just live in, a bigger area,
Mm.
and I think that there's just a greater need for the support technical roles in my area. So that's
Mm.
kind of why people got back to me. The hiring managers got back to me so fast.
Gotcha. And then this isn't like a prepared question, but did you use like Indeed, or how did you look for the jobs?
I used Indeed.
Okay.
But I want to encourage everybody to do better than I did and utilize LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is actually a much better way to get a higher quality job
Mm.
than Indeed, because when you're using LinkedIn, people see who you are and you also see who the hiring manager is. Indeed is just a bunch of font. So LinkedIn has a lot more personal interaction.
Mm.
And I think that if you use LinkedIn and you spend some good time on it, that you'll end up getting a higher quality entry level position. I just got really lucky.
Gotcha. Well, that's good to know. I didn't really. That's so obvious, but I didn't think about that because everyone's picture and stuff is on LinkedIn, right?
Yes, yes. And LinkedIn, you can also chat one-on-one with hiring managers, which is
Right.
a super important thing. I
Right.
think on Indeed, they have to reach out to you first. I could be wrong because I've had some hiring managers and recruiters message me privately on Indeed,
Hmm.
but LinkedIn is definitely more personable. It's basically a business version of Instagram.
Cool. And the next question was like, how many companies did you interview with? But I think you said three already. So
Yeah, free.
three. Cool.
Three.
You,
So, yeah, I interviewed with three. Two of them did not match up to what I was looking for in terms of work culture and environment and what kind of opportunities I would have.
hmm.
So I was not going to sell myself short, and I picked the best one that matched up with what I wanted.
Cool. Good for you. That's great. And then, out of curiosity, this is kind of separate to you. Am I allowed to show your GitHub portfolio if anyone's curious to see it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. And then your
Because I
LinkedIn.
know that
Once.
it's a really good example and a really good teaching tool. So I want to put that out there to help people as much as possible. So absolutely do whatever you want with it.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll include that. Cool. And then the next question, you don't have to like answer this exactly, but the next question is, what company did you end up with? So you don't have to say the name, but you can, however you want to.
I'll give like a brief description of it.
Okay.
So the company that hired me or that I decided to join, it's an electrical company, and we have electrical contractors that are assigned to projects in my area. And basically, my role is to support any technical issues that the electricians or project managers may encounter, as well as internal employees. So I also support any technical issues that accounting department might face or HR, that sort of thing.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Did they give you an official title, or can you kind of make
Yeah.
your?
Yeah, my official title is IT support technician level one.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, that makes enough sense.
Yeah.
Cool. I know like some companies give like some weird title sometimes, and I always like change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my job is not rigid. I get tickets, I get emails, I have a company phone. Somebody might shoot me a text and say, "Hey, my computer's not working. Can you come to my office?" Or sometimes people might just come into my office and just ask a question to my face.
Yeah.
So, I honestly wear a lot of hats. I kind of feel like helping out my mom with her phone in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's my job, but in a more professional business sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That's funny. And then, are you allowed to give a ballpark of your starting salary?
So my starting salary is $20 an hour.
Gotcha. Cool. Oh, it's about the same as the first person I interviewed. and that's more than my my salary. I think. Well,
Yeah,
granted, mine was like 15 years ago. My first job was like $10.50 or something.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's good, especially for like a nice cushy job. It's not too bad. And then, is there any part of course careers that was particularly helpful in you, either getting the interview or doing well in the interview, or like any part of the course that stands out?
All of it.
Oh,
Yeah, if I'm being honest, there's I want to be 100% honest. There are, I would highly encourage the people that are taking course careers to supplement, because every job is going to be different and every interview is going to be a little bit different. So there might not be, course careers isn't going to be like a one size fits all type of thing, but that's kind of IT in general, and anybody who's going into this should expect that. So, but in terms of like quality, because there was a lot of stuff that I did not know. And matter of fact, all the labs I did not know. And the labs are what landed me a job, because I was able to, not only are they going to ask you cookie cutter questions like what port is DNS on, or what are the 7 layers of OSI model, but they're going to ask you, what's your experience? And that is really where Course Careers comes in, because if you have no experience, it's going to be significantly harder to have your very, very first IT experience be at a job, because you're probably not going to get hired.
mm,
But what Course Careers provides is work experience that can be applicable to an entry level IT role, because I do use Active Directory every day at my job. And I
mm,
was able to answer that question pretty accurately by explaining in great detail the lab that I went through with Active Directory, as well as the OS ticket lab. They were actually pretty impressed by the fact that I had configured a open source ticketing system all by myself. And they were also impressed by the fact that I could explain what an SLA was, and I can explain, the different departments and teams that go into a help desk, because those are the types of questions that I was asked. I was asked, explain what ticket severity is, and Course Careers
oh, they
teaches
asked you
you
that?
exactly that.
They asked
Yeah,
you?
they asked me explain ticket severity. So I was like, great, that's so easy because I did this already,
That's hilarious.
right?
Oh my
It
god.
wasn't like I memorized something. I actually knew it and understood it because I took the course.
Mm. The As you're explaining that, that kind of reminds me. It's I tried to make the course so you would do the labs and you would have a lot to talk about. Like when the interview came, you'd have like you could easily talk about certain things, and it sounds kind of like that's what happened, possibly.
That's exactly what happened, because they asked me just about everything, all the labs, everything that I learned from the labs, I used at an interview, because they also asked me about Active Directory. So I had a pretty good knowledge about Active Directory. And they also asked me, what else do you know? They wanted to know everything that I knew. So I
Yeah.
said, hey, I also used Wireshark, and I also filtered out and inspected different types of traffic. And then I explained which type of packets I intercepted, like SSH, DNS, et cetera, et cetera. So those were a lot of stuff that really impressed the person that I was interviewing.
Nice, nice. Did you guys talk about like Azure or cloud or anything, or that doesn't come up?
Um, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
So that slipped my mind. I did not talk about Azure, but if I was a little more confident and I wasn't rushing a little bit in the interview, then I definitely would have talked about it on my own. But they didn't ask me. But
Yeah.
they did ask me about Active Directory. They
Mm.
did ask me what a VPN was.
Oh,
They
really?
did ask me what DNS was. They did ask me my knowledge about help desk, what an SLA was. Even the questions in the final that you ask are legitimate interview questions. I was asked the one question that is in Course Careers that was exactly cookie cutter, word for word in my interview was, what would you do if nobody's in the office and a customer asks you a question that you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's exactly in the final.
It's so
That's exactly in the Anki flashcards.
it's so
So
funny.
I was super prepared. Yep.
That's hilarious. I didn't do that on purpose. I just thought it was like a good thing to include. So that's so
Oh no,
fun.
they asked.
That's
They
funny.
asked.
Oh,
Yep.
good to hear. Was there like any part of the course that was particularly difficult for you, like either technically difficult or it was like hard to understand because I did something weird, or any thoughts on that?
No, no,
Yeah.
no. It was not difficult for me at all. That's all I got to say about that. It wasn't difficult at all. Partially because, I was doing my homework beforehand, and if you're good at watching a tutorial and just redoing the steps on a tutorial on your own system, then you will definitely not have any issue.
Yeah, that's kind of how I think about it. Just repetition. Did you do any of the labs like more than once?
I did the labs 3 times.
Oh,
So
nice.
I would watch the lab once without doing anything,
Mm,
and then I would do the lab again the second time while doing the GitHub repository. So that's good because you're typing everything out
mm,
and you're actually having to explain the lab in your own words. And then after I did that the second time, the third time was when my classmates were asking me questions or they wanted me to make a little YouTube tutorial. So then the third time was when I would make a YouTube tutorial.
By the way, thank you for helping so much in the Discord. That's really crazy. And I have like so much work and it really helps me a lot. So thank you for help. Thank you.
Yeah,
Seriously.
no problem. No problem.
And if you, speaking of your YouTube, if you decide like I want to do YouTube as well one day, which I might recommend because that will help you get jobs. Like if you want to get into security or something,
Yeah.
people will come to you. I'll definitely like shout out your channel and interview and like whatever I can do to make your channel like get exposure. So just let me know.
I appreciate that. So yeah, I actually am planning to do a YouTube channel, not necessarily to be successful on YouTube, but
Mm,
more so to be successful in my IT career. Because I know that that is something that will most definitely set you apart. Because I'm pretty sure there's a very small amount
yeah,
of cyber professionals that are actually doing YouTube,
yeah.
and there's a super duper big need for IT professionals on the YouTube space to help people out like myself.
It helps a lot, especially for your career. Like people just like they'll just come to you, but I can't just tell people like, yeah, just start a YouTube because it's like not that easy to do, right? But it definitely helps a
Yeah.
lot. And then this I didn't plan this question, but I feel like you have like a lot of good stuff to say, and I can edit anything out. But do you like if you're gonna give advice to someone who like just registered for Course Careers, like what would you tell them to best prepare them to get through it and like eventually like get a job? Like any extra
There's a
advice?
couple things. There's a couple things that come to mind.
Mm,
So if I were you, I would recommend before you start Course Careers to do some studying on your own, just to make the process faster, right? Because that's how I was able to do it really fast. I didn't go into Course Careers from scratch. Um, what I did was, like I said earlier, I studied A plus and Net plus beforehand, and I didn't go super crazy in depth. I didn't study each course for 2 months. I probably maybe studied them both for like 2 weeks.
mm,
Another thing too, so the main thing is familiarize yourself with the basics before you start the course. That way you don't really have to spend a lot of time on the videos.
mm.
So, learn what an IP address is, learn what DNS is, learn what DHCP is. And I'm not talking about going super in depth because like I can't tell you what Dora is like in super in depth, but I know that DNS is the protocol that translates domain names to IP addresses. That's all you
Mm,
got to know, right? That's all you got to know. That's all they're going to expect you to know in an interview.
mm,
So know just the very, very, very basics of the important protocols. like ICMP, SMTP, know their port numbers, that sort of thing, right? So that foundational knowledge, maybe consider that. I don't think that this is a must-have because I didn't have it before I started the course, but maybe consider just doing a quick run of the Google IT certification. That would definitely help you out too. And then, so I think those are the two main important things of actual technical knowledge. But another thing that is more like personal is be prepared to devote the time, right? I wasn't thinking about signing up for CourseCareers and doing it tomorrow. Or I wasn't saying to myself, oh, CourseCareers is out, great, I'll do it next month. No, 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 no. Part of the reason, not part of the reason why I was so successful with the course and I got a job so quick was because of my mindset. I wasn't waiting until tomorrow. I was starting yesterday, right? And I was devoting the time each day for 6, 8, sometimes 10-hour days to do the course. So those are the two main things that if you want to be super efficient with your time and you want to be successful in the course and you want to get a job very quickly, do the supplemental stuff beforehand and then change your perspective, because I talk to a lot of people who are in the same position as me, and I'm actually, trying to convince people in my personal circle to begin the course. And they tell me things like, okay, yeah, I'll start it next month when my work schedule is not that busy. No, no, you will not be successful. And I know that sounds kind of harsh, and that's kind of like a militaristic mentality of like, get the mission done,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. If you want to get something done, apply yourself and put 100% effort into it. And I actually got this, I wouldn't say it's a quote, but it's kind of like a mantra, I guess you could say. I got this from another YouTuber that I watched, is that the most difficult part of your career is going to be CourseCareers, because you're not getting paid for it. You have a lot of doubts that you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know if this course is really going to get you a job, because that crept into my mind too a little bit. I didn't know the future. And that's kind of like this part of the process in your career where you're planting a seed into the ground and you don't see the flower or the tree sprout out. You're just watering the dirt, and all you got is dirt, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but once you get if you just put your head down and work through that process, you will see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. Actually, that's really
It's not mine. I stole that from someone else.
okay.
I didn't
Okay,
make that up on my own, but it hit so close to my heart that I've been telling that to other people within my circle in my personal life. And it's definitely something that I can really relate to. And I know without a doubt it will relate to 100% of the people that are in my situation.
very well said, I would say, and I will say you would make a great YouTuber. I think you speak very, very well,
Yeah, yeah,
unlike me.
yeah. Yeah, I'm super. I mean, the reason why is that I am incredibly passionate about this because, personally, I think that a lot of people are afraid of criticism and
Hmm.
they're afraid of a growth mindset, and they have so much opportunity of people trying to help them. And I don't really have a lot of personal mentors in my life, but I'm super hungry for that education from someone who's done it before me. And I know what it's like to not have that. And I want to be the person that I really didn't have for myself to other people, because
Yeah,
I know how hard, how incredibly difficult it could be. And learning from other people and taking criticism is 100%. You can attribute that to all of your success. And the most successful people in the world, the number one thing that they will tell you is that they learned it from someone who was better than them at the beginning. And I'll give you a great example of that. Michael Jordan, I'm a big sports guy. I'm a Lakers fan. Michael Jordan, his idol was David Skywalker, and who was a basketball player in the 70s. He was one of the first guys who was able to do flashy dunks. And Michael Jordan was also inspired greatly by Dr. J, Julius Irving, right? Steve Jobs, he also was inspired by people who came before him. The late, great Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace, he was also infatuated by Michael Jordan. And and even after his basketball career, when he was into content creation and book writing and making movies or small productions, he was calling up people who were movie producers, and they would be like, "Oh my gosh, Kobe Bryant's calling me," but Kobe was like, "I don't care. I want to learn from people who came before me." So
Mm.
that's kind of my philosophy.
Great. I do that too. Whenever I want to get into something, that's exactly what I do. I find someone who's way better than me and I just do my best to emulate them, and it usually
Yeah.
works out pretty well actually.
Yeah. And that's why Course Careers is amazing, because this is an endorsement for the almighty Madakor. He
Oh my
is
god.
he's one of the best guys to learn from. And if there was only one person that I could go to watch content and try and learn and how to progress my career, it would be Josh Madakor.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I'll try to keep making those good contents. Cool.
Absolutely.
Thanks. And then do you have any what are your future plans? I guess wrapping up, like what do you plan to do going forward?
So going forward, I want to pursue a career in cybersecurity. Um, Now I kind of have the basic blueprint. I want, because I watched your video that you made, I think about a year ago, about how to get into cybersecurity with no experience. So I'm planning on pursuing my Security Plus and learning the basics of Python.
Mm.
And then after that, I plan on going for an offensive security certification. And then after that, I want to start applying for jobs. And in between that process, I want to do my own labs. So very similar stuff to what I did in Course Careers. I
Mm.
kind of want to get my educational knowledge up as well as my technical ability. So I plan on doing the educational part through the certifications, and I plan on doing the technical part through the labs.
Gotcha. That's a great way to do it. I would recommend that. Just kind of applying the same framework, and I think that you will definitely see success. So, well, thank you very much. It was very nice having you on. I'm sure we're gonna chat in Discord more, and then maybe we can do like a follow up interview at some point. And when you have your
Absolutely.
YouTube and spread all that knowledge around. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely plan on, doing a YouTube, trying to help other people out, as well as, spread my own IT knowledge as I garner more experience in kind of sharing my journey and helping others kind of follow the same steps. And I'm super appreciative of your time, because I know that time is extremely valuable. It's an asset that we cannot get back. Um, but I really thank you for creating the course. And we didn't really talk about this too much in the interview, but I also want to say that you're not only getting the course, but you're also getting one-on-one attention from an industry certified professional who's been doing this for 10 years plus. And I just want to throw that out there, because there are people who are charging hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars for that type of personal interaction from them. And Josh is doing it at an incredibly low rate, which is it's an unprecedented amount of value.
yeah, thanks.
I
Thanks.
really want to extend my thanks to you for that.
Oh yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for saying that. I appreciate it. A lot of people are trying to like have one-on-ones, and I'm like just join the Discord and you can DM me there, or join Course Careers or something, and then you can, because I have like
Right.
easier, essentially like zero time. So thanks for even acknowledging that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. Alrighty, well, thanks for having you on. I'll end this now. So I don't see you in Discord.
All right. Thank you. It was nice to meet you in person or
You,
on Zoom.
you too. Thanks.